We begin, though, this morning with developing news on the investigation into Michael Jackson's death. And a nurse who claims she treated Jackson is speaking out, making some shocking claims that Michael Jackson was desperately seeking a very powerful sedative. It's a drug primarily used in operating rooms that have very dangerous side effects. Overnight, the nurse, Cherilyn Lee, sat down exclusively with our Drew Griffin. Their conversation is brand new this morning. It's something you'll see only here on American Morning.
Michael Jackson wanted a medical attendant to give him an IV drip of Diprivan.
Yes.
Just so he could sleep.
Yes.
Scary.
Very scary. This is how he started doing. I had this medicine before. It worked for me before. And I said, well, you know, and then he says the name and I didn't understand. I said, well, who gave it to you? My doctor. And he was so adamant. Like, he totally believed that his doctor said this is safe. He said, this is
Did he say what doctor?
He wouldn't tell me. I said, who is the doctor? And if he gave it to you, where is he? I mean, why are you asking me? You know, he said, oh, I don't know where he is. It was a long time ago, but I know this worked for me. And he actually sat there and he said, I'm telling you, when I have that IV in my hand, when I have it in my hand, and he just kind of went on his arm, when it drips in my body, the first drop, I'm asleep. And all I want to do is sleep. You know, I've watched my children, they're sleeping. You know, I just want to go to sleep. I want to sleep 8 hours so I could be refreshed the next day.
But don't you think it's odd he's asking for this super strong medicine?
Yes, that was odd.
Without asking for a regular old sleeping pill?
Yeah, but this is, and I said, have you taken sleeping pills? He said, they don't work. He said, I don't want those things, they don't work. I want it in an IV. I don't want pills. I don't want any pills.
You said no.
And oh my goodness, not only did I say no, I didn't know the medication, and I went to my office to get my PDR. So I said, a physician desk reference. It's like the Bible of medicine. I said, this medication is not good. He said, I want to sleep. And I looked at him, and that was the first time I got this chill through my body. And I said, Michael, if you take that medicine, you might not wake up.
What was his response?
He said, I need to have somebody here to just monitor me. I said, it isn't having someone monitor you. You don't need to have this. He said, if somebody stay here and monitor me with this IV, then I would be okay. I would be okay because they're going to be here 24 hours or 12 hours to monitor me so I could sleep 8 hours.
Wow. Just astounding what she's saying, and we're going to hear in just a few minutes a little bit more from Cherilyn Lee about this frantic call that she got from Jackson's security team, she says, last weekend, and why she's deciding to come forward now. She says she's not seeking fame, but she felt it was important to put it out there and try to set the record straight.
Yeah, exactly, because so many people are saying so many different things.
Yeah.
Well, there are major developments this morning in the investigation into Michael Jackson's death. A nurse who claims that she treated Jackson back in April says he was desperately seeking a very powerful sedative that's used typically in operating rooms to sleep. She says that she warned him that the drug could kill him. She also says she got a frantic call from one of Jackson's aides 4 days before he died. She talked about that exclusively with our Drew Griffin late last night. Here's some of it.
Last Sunday night, I was in Florida at a medical convention. And they called me and said, Michael wants to see you. It's urgent. He really wants to see you. And I can hear him in the background. Tell her that half my body is cold, half my body is hot. And I'm
Who calls you? Who?
The security.
Who is that?
Right now, I'd rather not say names.
And you're hearing
I
the
can
call
hear him.
is from the home.
Yes. And they said, please, please. He's telling. I said, you know, I can't come, Michael. I'm in Florida. And I didn't even tell him I was in the ER. I said, you need to go to the hospital. You need to go to the hospital. He was so adamant about, I will pay any amount of money to someone to help me to sleep. And I said, you don't have to pay me anything, but you don't do this. But he was so adamant, I don't care what it's going to take. I'll pay any amount of money to get 8 hours sleep. That was my last conversation with him. I said, you know, Michael, instead of, you know, it's just something came over me and I had tears in my eye. And I've been having these tears ever since that day. And I said, something came over me and I said, Michael, you keep wanting to sleep. You keep saying you want to be knocked out and sleep. But what about waking up tomorrow?
You think somebody took that payment, don't you?
That was my first thought.
You know, this is a Michael Jackson investigation.
I know.
Half the people that are watching this are not going to believe you.
I know that.
They're going to think this woman is just seeking fame. She's making this up.
I don't need fame. I do not need fame.
Why are you coming forward with all this?
I'm coming forward because the more I watched the news and the more they kept saying drugs, and I'm thinking, this is not drugs.
When you say this wasn't drugs,
it wasn't the drugs they're saying, the Demerol, the this, the that. I mean, it wasn't.
you think it was the drug he was after?
Yeah. But I could not be certain about that, but it's my thought. And even though I warned him about it, I mean, in detail, warned him about it, he kept saying he wanted to have somebody there that could watch him and medically supervise him. That's what he said. And I said, even so, this is not a drug that you would use in a home. This is not a drug for sleep. This is something that, you know, something you don't want to do because you may not wake up.